Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and today we're going to be doing a brief review on both Storm and Iceman's new uniforms, talking about the pros and cons, and basically discussing, sort of build recommendations, rotation recommendations, and some ideas for rotations if you're playing these characters, and then also looking at the uniform options and giving you sort of my final thoughts. Well, my first impression, final thoughts, sort of thing on their uniforms. So we'll start off with Storm here. Obviously a massive rework for Storm. I was originally going to compare to the old uniform briefly, but there's really no point. Offensively and defensively, this is just a massive rework for her. So if you are a Storm fan, and if you want your Storm to be as strong as possible, then it's difficult not to recommend this uniform. However, I know that it's paywall, so we'll get into a little bit more discussion on the more general meta of the game and why I think this uniform is a skip. Not for everyone. It is a pickup for some players, but I think that those players are in the very small minority. So yeah, for Storm, we have some of the worst uniform options I've ever seen. Lady Deadpool, this is like a 3-year-old uniform. Medusa, which is like a 2-year-old uniform. Sharon Rogers, which is the only good one. America Chavez Classic, which is not the new America Chavez from Multiverse of Madness. So this is like insane that they put this one here. And then Baron Zemo. So yeah, some of the worst optionals I've ever seen. And then for Iceman, I think this is another very good rework for Iceman. He also gets the tier 3, so his power is a little bit mixed up between the uniform and the tier 3. But I do think that this uniform fixes a lot of the problems that he had, especially with a rotation. I think a lot of players, myself included, were just kind of confused on how to play Iceman before, because he has certain skills that you could cancel, other skills that you couldn't cancel, and it was just very awkward, and it made him only playable with a Judgment, not even playable with a Rage, because he didn't have any guaranteed crit rate. So I think they solved a lot of those problems this time around by giving him a lot more flexibility, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. I'm a little bit happier with Iceman's rework. I still think it is a bit of a skip. Again, unless you're in a minority of players who either love Iceman or need him for specific content, and we'll get to that. But we'll take a look at his optionals first. We got Venom, which is pretty nice. Silver Surfer, which is Betsy, which is nice. Spider-Man, which is great. And then Icarus. So much better optionals here from Iceman. Very, very good, considering he is a Crystal Wall character, an expensive character. And you could definitely see them giving it to us with bad optionals there. As far as the playstyle goes for both of these characters, they're actually quite similar. So we'll go ahead and look at Iceman first, because we'll leave the surprise on Storm for just a little bit later. But Iceman has a very easy rotation here with just 3 cancel 5 cancel 4. Very easy. So you can instantly cancel 3, you can instantly cancel 5, and then you just lay it all on 4. His 4th skill is super cool. He does like a like a Spirit Bomb type Dragon Ball Z thing. It's so cool. I absolutely love it. He actually doesn't have that many skill changes. His 1 and 5 are the same, so they really only updated 2, 3, and 4. But 4 alone is probably worth the price of admission. Alternatively, if you want a little bit of a harder rotation for Iceman, you could do 2 delayed cancel, 5 cancel, 3 cancel 4. Or sorry, 2 delayed cancel, 3 cancel 5 cancel 4. That's going to be harder to pull off, but as you can see there, I missed the 3rd skill because my fingers are all goofed. But yeah, anyways, and then when you have his rotation, when you have his tier 3 built up, it's just 3 5 4 6. So very easy rotation, and also if you notice, there's a lot of skill canceling. What that means is very proc friendly. So you can absolutely use Iceman with a proc obelisk or a CTP of energy, and he will do well for you. Alternatively, because he gets that crazy uniform bonus that gives him 35% guaranteed crit rate, you could absolutely use him with a Rage CTP. And then, of course, you could use him with a Judgment. So that's what I mean by giving you a lot more flexibility this time around. I really like the changes that they made to Iceman's kit to make him a much more comfortable character to play and still fun to play. Still feels like you're playing Iceman because you got all these different effects going on. You've got ice raining from the sky, you've got a giant ice monster, and then he creates this giant ice spirit bomb that he throws on you. So I really like that. In that sense, they did capture kind of the essence of Iceman. Whether he's going to be like super meta, I'm not sure yet. I haven't tier 3'd him, but we'll get to that a little bit later when we talk about Storm and why she's meta-ish. Anyways, For Storm, the first thing you're going to notice is that they did not update her movement speed. Now, I don't really have the energy to complain and yell right now. I will later, but I'm very disappointed that the devs did not update her movement speed. We've been complaining about Storm's movement speed for 2 years. So for the devs to not know this is a problem is, in my opinion, baloney. And I actually don't want to use the word baloney, but you know what I mean. I think this is really disappointing, and yeah, I think this speaks a lot. This speaks volumes about their attention lately. It has not been on what the players need or what the players want, and their attention has definitely been only on marketing, which works in the short term. It definitely works in the short term, doesn't work in the long term. So yeah, that I'm very disappointed in. The other thing I'm disappointed in is honestly, her second skill is the same, right? From the old uniform to the new uniform. Her first skill is the same. So they copied and pasted 2 skills. Her 5th skill is different, but it's kind of similar. I don't know. Her 4th skill is just Electro's 4th skill. They just copied and pasted Electro's 4th skill. And then her 3rd skill is basically the only skill that makes you feel like it's actually a summer exclusive uniform. She creates this like dusty lightning storm, and then you see beach chairs and beach umbrellas swirling around, and they don't even actually last that long. There's not that many of them. So in terms of the aesthetics, again, I don't always harp on these kinds of things because it's not that important and not everybody cares about them. But for these seasonal uniforms that are around once a year and cost real money, I do expect a higher level, and everyone pretty much expects a higher level of polish. So to basically only see one skill that has that higher level of polish is disappointing. And again, I think it speaks to the devs' focus lately and that they have not been really putting their best effort in. We saw it and we talked about it with Moon Knight, where it didn't really feel like they put effort into Moon Knight's kit, and it didn't really feel like a Disney Plus uniform. We have the same situation here where this doesn't really feel like a seasonal uniform. If you look at Enchantress's uniform, if you look at Silk's uniform and that kind of stuff, those feel so seasonal, right? They put so much effort into those, and those are the ones that you pay for, right? Storm's uniform, in terms of the effort, definitely feels more like a Quicksilver uniform. Not in terms of the functionality, like not in terms of the power. They definitely cranked Storm's damage up, but in terms of the aesthetics and in terms of the animations, right? Quicksilver basically got like 1 or 2 new skills, and very similarly Cable with this uniform, right? Like, oh, what he has little water footprints when he walks around. Wow. And they turned one of the blasters into water. Wow. Like, just kind of like half-assed animation changes. That's how I feel about Storm's uniform. So in that sense, aesthetically, I'm disappointed. And in terms of the movement speed, I'm very disappointed. Anywho, rant over. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Her rotation is very similar to Iceman's, except you just have to hesitate before you cancel the 3rd skill into the 5th skill. So you go up and then you cancel 5 into 4. It's a bit new. It seems a bit nuanced there, but if you cancel right away, you don't. As you can see, you don't get the tornado. Okay, so you just need to wait a little bit for her to go up, and then you see you'll have the tornado there. It's kind of hard to see because there's lightning and shit, but yeah, there you go. So 3 delayed cancel, 5 cancel 4, and then 3 delayed cancel, 5 cancel 4 cancel 6. So very similar rotation to Iceman. It also means that Storm is very proc friendly, which is very good. I've got an ignore dodge lightning damage 180 proc on Storm right now, and she can do some very high damage, which means you could also give her a CTP of energy. You could, of course, give her a CTP of judgment. And then, of course, at level 80 tier 4, you may be able to give her a CTP of rage. Not sure, but yeah. To give you guys a little bit of context for what it looks like in-game, again, I don't have Iceman tier 3, forgive me. I'll tier 3 him soon. But let's take a look here. What he does on stage 99. It's been a long time since I played stage 99 of regular World Boss Ultimate. But the rotation's very smooth. He has a little bit of a survivability issue, I will say that. Like, he can get hit when he's winding up his rotation. and that can be a problem. But he also has really good range. Like, he can start his rotation from pretty far away. As you can see there, I was quite far away from Cull Obsidian, and you can do his whole rotation. So that means that most of, if not all of his skills, and especially the ones that matter, 3, 5, and 4, have a very long range. So you can see here, I'm pretty far away. Okay, well, we actually forgot to press 3 there. That's wonderful. I'll show you guys one more here. He's spinning, he's spinning, he's spinning. Okay, again, we missed 3, but you sort of get what I'm saying here with Iceman. Seems pretty strong, to be honest with me. To be honest with you, sorry. As for Storm, yeah, they cranked her damage to 11, and they definitely want to sell her to specific players. So that's why I'm saying she's meta-ish. That's why I'm saying that she's a must-buy, or she's like a strong recommendation for specific players. Basically, if you have traveled far enough in World Boss Legend, that's basically... Wow, I really missed that rotation, eh? Okay, whatever. We're just gonna continue. If you've gone far enough in World Boss Legend that you've unlocked, or you're sort of stuck at the mutant requirement, then Storm is a very attractive option for your roster because she allows you to continue climbing. Again, I know that not everyone cares about this, or not everyone is even there. I think most players are not. But for those players that are, I do want to recognize that, yeah, she's pretty broken for this kind of stuff. Like, the fact that I'm even doing this with an obelisk is crazy, right? This is not a CTP, this is an obelisk, right? Like, this is crazy. And it's a very smooth rotation. I'm finally not screwing it up, so we're going faster here in the second half of the fight. But yeah, very smooth rotation, very, very proc friendly. She would completely destroy World Boss at level 80 with a CTP of energy. It would be like a slaughter fest. So yeah, so that's a minute and a half on the first phase, right? She's absolutely busted offensively. But again, do you need, right? That's really the question. Do you need this? Not sure. Not sure. The only other thing I want to show you guys is this. Her survivability is hilariously bad. So you don't want to get hit by the spikes, of course, the null spikes. But if you do, she dies instantly. I got hit by one spike and she died. Even Cyclops can tank a spike and survive. So yeah, even with what do I have, like 70-80% HP on my cards? Even with 83% max HP on my cards, my Storm has my Storm has 64,000 base HP here. She gets one tapped by the spikes. So although they cranked her damage to 11, they did not fix her movement speed, which is arguably as big of a problem as not giving her more defense, right? But yeah, not giving her more defense is another pretty big issue. She still gets one tapped. So yeah, it's kind of like she's kind of like a glass cannon. So yeah, and so basically that's kind of where it lands. I think if you look, you know, you can kind of tell that the devs are doing this on purpose, right? They're releasing these tier 4s for a reason. So you know, you have the stage. Look at Ultron. Especially Ultron from 25 up to 39, you can use Iron Man, especially if you buy the 2 uniforms. And then from 40, you use Thor. And now from 45, you use Storm. This is very intentional. But again, if you're the type of player that likes climbing World Boss Legend, and if you're the type of player who has unlocked these stages, or you're very close to unlocking them, similarly for Null, we're at 50 here, then Storm is a strong recommendation because she can giga clap this content, especially if you get her to level 80. You don't have to get her to tier 4. She's going to like hyper clap that content. However, for everybody else that doesn't care about World Boss Legend pushing, or is not there yet, or is not going to be there for months, whatever, this is a skip. And it's also a skip if you're just irritated with the lack of effort from the devs, which honestly I am. So yeah, it's pretty irritating. I hope that Iceman, my hope is that Iceman Tier 3 will be able to complete some of these stages. I'm not super hopeful about Ultron 45 because it's very difficult. But maybe Null 50. Maybe he can do that. And then there will be even less reason for players to pick up Storm. Because I do think the devs need to wake up and start putting more effort into the game. You know, I'm always saying, or I'm almost always saying that the game deserves more players and more revenue and more attention because it's such a good game. But when the devs sort of phone it in and give us half-assed updates month after month, it really makes me and other players who say the same thing look stupid. Right? We look stupid because we're championing this game, and the devs are just kind of phoning it in, giving us these half-assed updates, and really not putting in their best effort. You know, so I really hope that wherever the A team is, that they finally come back to MFF. Maybe they get off that sinking ship that is MFR. I don't know what's going on. I really don't. But I'm kind of tired because I'm sick. But it's also kind of tiring. Like, you know, the Moon Knight uniform, the Storm uniform. Like, come on, guys. Seriously. No new characters. Like, you know, yeah, the production on the game has definitely taken a hit this year, and I really need to see it go back to its like 2021 speed, because that was just so much better, and this is so much worse. So yeah, thanks so much for watching the review, the first impressions, whatever you want to call it. Hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.